Why is it that a person can spend weeks hiding their phone, telling complex lies, and making thousands of deliberate choices to betray your trust? Yet the very second they are caught, they look you in the eyes and call the entire disaster a simple mistake. When we look at human relationship psychology with absolute honesty, we discover that the words people use after a crisis are often calculated defense tools designed to protect their own pride. Dropping a glass on the kitchen floor is a mistake. Taking the wrong turn on a highway is a mistake. But crossing the intimate boundaries of a committed relationship requires active planning, conscious deception, and repeated choices. Behavioral observations suggest that when a partner labels a major betrayal as a mere accident, their subconscious mind is trying to shrink the giant mountain of their guilt into a tiny, harmless pebble. They do this because facing the raw reality of their behavior is too heavy for their ego to bear. Exploring this psychological trend is not about showing anger, pointing fingers, or taking sides. It is about educating you with clear, realistic facts so you can see past the emotional smoke and mirrors, build your emotional intelligence, and understand the true machinery behind why people minimize their bad choices. Today, we are going to explore the hidden behavioral patterns that drive a partner to deflect accountability, how the human brain uses soft language to escape consequences, and how to stay perfectly grounded in reality when someone tries to change the facts of what happened. Most people see what happened. Few stop to understand why it happened. If you're here to think deeper, question assumptions, and see beyond the surface, you're in the right place. Subscribe and join the conversation, because better understanding leads to better decisions. To truly understand why this dynamic happens so frequently, we must analyze a behavioral pattern called language minimization. In relationship psychology, when a person makes a conscious decision to break their marriage vows, they experience an intense internal conflict. They want to keep the benefits of a stable home, but they also want the excitement of outside validation. When their secret life is exposed, their brain instantly enters survival mode. They realize that if they admit they planned the betrayal, they will be viewed as a malicious person. To save their reputation, they subconsciously choose words that imply a lack of control. They will say things like, "It just happened, I was confused," or "It was a temporary lapse in judgment." By framing the betrayal as an accident, they are trying to convince you and themselves that the bad behavior does not reflect their true character. They want you to believe that the action was just an isolated glitch in their system rather than a reflection of their true boundaries and values. This trend links directly into a second psychological pattern known as the intentionality shield. When a partner gets caught cheating, they will often try to separate their actions from their intentions. They will tell you, "I never meant to hurt you." From a logical standpoint, this statement is completely empty because a person who hides text messages and meets someone in secret knows exactly that their actions will cause massive devastation if discovered. However, behavioral observations show that by focusing heavily on their lack of bad intent, they try to change the topic of the argument. Instead of discussing the actual damage they caused, they force you to argue about what was happening inside their mind. If a man falls into this trap, he will spend months trying to figure out if his partner still loves him, while completely overlooking the fact that her physical actions proved a total lack of respect for his peace of mind. Let us look at a realistic life story involving a couple named Justin and Heather to see how this dynamic operates in the real world and leads to a negative outcome. Justin was a very dedicated and hardworking accountant who treated his wife, Heather, with complete loyalty and respect. He focused on building a safe financial future for them and always communicated with total openness. Heather, however, possessed a strong behavioral tendency to look for constant praise and attention outside her marriage. When a new colleague at her workplace started showing her special interest, Heather did not establish a firm boundary. Instead, she began exchanging secret personal messages, buying new clothes for work, and arranging private lunches with him. This went on for over 3 months, involving hundreds of deliberate decisions to deceive Justin. Eventually, Justin noticed the strange behavior and discovered the hidden messages on her laptop. When he confronted her with complete shock and pain, Heather immediately burst into tears and screamed that it was all just a huge mistake. She claimed that she got caught up in the moment, that the stress of her job made her confused, and that she never intended to ruin the family. She begged Justin to view the 3-month affair as a single accidental slip. Because Justin loved her deeply and wanted to believe her soft words, he stayed in the relationship and tried to forget the past. This was a major mistake, because Heather successfully used the word mistake to avoid real consequences. Her subconscious mind never developed true remorse. Within a year, she fell back into the same behavioral patterns, hiding her phone and seeking outside attention again, because she knew she could always use emotional tears to wipe away her accountability. The marriage completely fell apart under a cloud of constant suspicion and pain, showing that when you accept a minimized explanation for a major betrayal, you give the other person permission to repeat the behavior. Have you ever seen a situation where someone spent months telling elaborate lies, only to claim it was an accident the moment they were caught? I invite you to think about this common behavioral trend and share your perspective in the comments section below. When we break down Heather's behavior from an objective standpoint, we encounter a third major trend known as the consequences panic. In many relationship dynamics, when a partner gets caught and expresses deep emotional distress, they are often not crying because they feel bad for the pain they caused you. They are crying because they are terrified of the immediate consequences that are about to hit their life. They are panicking about the possibility of a messy public divorce, the loss of financial comfort, or the damage to their social standing among family and friends. A wise, psychologically aware individual must learn to distinguish between real remorse and simple consequence panic. Real remorse involves a person completely accepting the blame, answering every difficult question honestly, and accepting whatever boundaries you set down. Consequence panic, on the other hand, relies heavily on defensive language, crying, and begging you to move past the issue quickly so they can escape the uncomfortable pressure of their own choices. When you develop the unshakable mental strength to look past emotional tears and focus entirely on objective actions, you stop letting soft language blur your understanding of reality. You begin to see that an aware individual does not let a partner rewrite history just to escape the heavy weight of their own choices. Now, we must examine the final 5 behavioral trends that explain the deep psychological mechanics behind why a partner minimizes betrayal, and how you can use clear, logical boundaries to maintain your complete self-respect, protect your mental health, and stay fully grounded in the truth. We will look at how the subconscious mind uses social pressure to hide bad behavior, why a man must never accept a fake peace built on a foundation of lies, and how holding an absolute standard of personal accountability keeps your entire life secure. The 6th critical truth to master is a pattern known as the social shield maneuver. In relationship psychology, we observe that a person who chooses to cheat is often deeply terrified of how the outside world will look at them. They fear losing the respect of their parents, their mutual friends, and their community. Behavioral data suggests that to protect their public image, a partner who minimizes their actions will try to control the story immediately. By calling the betrayal a simple mistake, they make it sound like a small human flaw rather than a serious character defect. If they can convince the people around them that it was just an accident, they successfully shield themselves from the social consequences of their actions, leaving the faithful partner feeling isolated and pressured by the community to just forgive and forget. If you're still locked in, you're seeing what most people miss. This channel is for thinkers, not reactors. Subscribe if that resonates. Share your perspective below. Now, let's get into the part most people overlook. The 7th thing every man must understand is a behavioral trend called the amnesia demand. When a partner uses soft language to cover up a betrayal, they will slowly begin to show frustration if you continue to bring up the issue. Psychological observations indicate that their subconscious mind expects you to treat a mistake like a small incident that belongs in the past. They will say things like, "I already said sorry, why are you still stuck on this?" Or "You are punishing me forever." By doing this, they try to flip the roles in the relationship. They attempt to make you look like the toxic, unforgiving person who is keeping the marriage in a dark place, completely shifting the focus away from the fact that they are the one who shattered the foundation of trust. The 8th critical truth is a pattern known as the emotional fatigue trap. Dealing with a partner who refuses to take full ownership of their choices is mentally exhausting. A man will find himself having the same circular arguments for months, trying to explain why a 3-month secret relationship cannot be called an accident. Behavioral trends show that many good men eventually give up and accept the minimized excuse simply because they are too tired to keep fighting. They let the partner off the hook just to get some quietness back in the house. But this choice leaves a deep, unhealed wound in their masculine confidence that slowly eats away at their peace of mind. Let us look at a realistic story of positive growth involving a couple named Marcus and Sylvia to see how a man can handle this specific manipulation by using strict logic, total calm, and unbreakable self-respect. Marcus was a very grounded and disciplined graphic designer who always prioritized his family's safety and emotional health. Sylvia was a school administrator who, during a brief period of feeling bored in her routine, began a secret flirtatious relationship with an old acquaintance online, which eventually led to a secret physical meeting. When Marcus discovered the truth through phone bills, Sylvia instantly panicked and tried to minimize the situation. She wept loudly, hugged his knees, and claimed it was a terrible mistake caused by a stressful month at work, begging him not to ruin their 5 years together over one accidental lapse in judgment. Instead of getting angry, screaming, or absorbing her emotional panic, Marcus used his high level of emotional intelligence to stay perfectly calm. He looked at Sylvia and told her with complete clarity that driving to a secret location and turning off her phone required active planning, not an accidental slip. He stated that while he cared for her, his boundary required absolute accountability, and he refused to live with a partner who called deliberate deception a mistake. He packed his bags and initiated a temporary legal separation, refusing to talk about reconciliation until Sylvia stopped making excuses. This firm approach led to a highly positive outcome. Seeing Marcus's unbreakable standard, Sylvia stopped her defensive behavior, finally admitted the full extent of her choices without any excuses, and voluntarily enrolled in deep psychological counseling to fix her character flaws. By refusing to accept her minimized story, Marcus forced Sylvia to face the raw reality of her behavior, allowing them to slowly rebuild a genuine, completely transparent relationship based on true accountability rather than a fake peace. Marcus succeeded because he placed logical boundaries above emotional comfort. Do you believe that a man should immediately walk away from a partner who refuses to admit that cheating is a deliberate choice? I invite you to share your perspective in the comments section below. The ninth thing a man must realize is the reset fantasy. When a partner minimizes a betrayal, they are subconsciously trying to reset the relationship back to the way things were before they got caught, without doing the hard work of rebuilding trust. In relationship psychology, true healing requires a long period of complete transparency, where the wrongdoer willingly opens their phone, accounts for their time, and accepts the partner's questions without getting angry. If a partner avoids this hard work by claiming it was just a mistake, they are trying to skip the painful process of repair, which means the underlying character flaws that caused the betrayal remain completely unfixed. The 10th and final truth to master is the absolute standard of accountability. A man must understand that you can never change a person's internal nature by arguing with them or accepting their excuses. If a partner does not possess the natural character to look in the mirror, take full ownership of their destructive choices, and accept the consequences with humility, no amount of love or patience from your side will ever make them loyal. A powerful, grounded man keeps his self-respect fully intact by holding an absolute standard for the people he allows into his inner circle, knowing that true loyalty does not need soft excuses to survive. By developing the unshakable clarity to see through the fog of soft language and blame deflection, you become completely immune to emotional manipulation. You realize that an honorable man does not have to compromise on the truth just to maintain a relationship. By standing firmly on the facts, refusing to validate a partner's minimized excuses, and protecting your personal boundaries with total discipline, you ensure that you remain the absolute master of your own peace of mind, allowing you to build a clean future with total mental power, true strength, and absolute pride. If you're still here, you've already done something most people don't. You didn't settle for the headline. You stayed for the deeper layer. In a world that rewards quick reactions, taking the time to understand is becoming a rare skill. That's what this channel is about. Not taking sides, not chasing outrage, but looking beneath the surface to understand the patterns that shape people, relationships, and decisions. If you value conversations that make you think long after the video ends, subscribe and stay connected. And if something in today's discussion stood out to you, share it in the comments. Some of the best insights come from seeing how different people interpret the same idea. Keep questioning, keep learning, keep seeing beyond the obvious. I'll see you in the next one.